What's the difference in positional righteousness and practical righteousness? Well, we're going to find out in this episode 24 of Salvation and Discipleship. If you have your study guide, which you can get at simplybelief.com/grow, go ahead and look at number 24. Under salvation, it says positional righteousness, and under discipleship, it says practical righteousness. In the last chapter, we looked at Romans 4:5. We're going to look at that one again because it gives us an understanding of positional righteousness apart from works. Here's what it says. But to him who does not work, but believes on him who justifies the ungodly, his faith is accounted for righteousness. So, this is what we call positional righteousness. Completely apart from works, you are justified before God. So when you receive your salvation by believing in the one who justifies the ungodly, as he puts it, then you have this justification. You have a righteous standing before God. The amazing thing about this verse is that it tells us that even if someone has zero works, whether before or after they're declared righteous, they are still declared righteous as long as they believe in the one who justifies the ungodly. So, that means that someone is saved completely apart from works. They don't have to have works to prove that it was real faith. They don't have to have works to maintain their salvation. They can't lose it. They have righteousness forever because of what they believed at a moment in time. So that is what positional righteousness means. But righteousness is talked about in other ways in other parts of the New Testament. Once again, we see that the word righteousness has some elasticity or some fluidity to its possible meanings. Let's turn over to 1 Timothy, which is also written by Paul, the author of Romans that we're just looking at. 1 Timothy 6:11, but you, O man of God, flee these things and pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, love, patience, gentleness, and the list goes on. So what we find out here is that righteousness can be something that can be pursued. This verse contradicts the other one we looked at if you try to make it a salvation verse. But notice how he opens. He says, but you, O man of God. So we know that he's already talking to a believer. In fact, we know which believer he's talking to. Timothy. Timothy was one of Paul's very devoted disciples. So he's talking to a Christian, but he tells him, pursue righteousness. Now, we can't pursue the kind of righteousness that we get when we believe in Jesus because that would be equivalent to works for salvation. You can't have salvation by working for it. So, in the same way, you can't pursue positional righteousness. You are given positional righteousness as a gift when you believe in Christ. So what is he talking about here? Well, I bet you can guess because we've talked about it in every episode. He's talking about discipleship. So to pursue righteousness is talking about a practical kind of righteousness, a righteousness that the disciple pursues on a daily basis. So positional righteousness is what we have when we receive salvation, but practical righteousness is something that we pursue on a daily basis, and that is connected to discipleship. If you want to go deeper on this subject, I'd suggest getting my book, Salvation and Discipleship. Also go to simplybelief.com/grow to learn more. Thanks for watching this episode, and we'll see you in number 25.